Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Fiona McAllister joining us here again. She's the owner of her own company and an image consultant, better known as Style by Fiona. How are you doing today, darling?
I'm fine. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here live from Calgary, Canada, and we're hailing from New York. We're here bound worldwide, talking today about image, style, and all that she does and how she can help you. And the website is stylebyfiona.com, correct?
That's right.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll get into today's topic of conversation.
So I am, as Jill said, an image consultant, and I am also a counselor. And I mix fashion and psychology together to help women look beautiful and feel confident in what they're wearing, in a nutshell.
Yay. And that's what we do, right? We like feeling good. We like looking good. It gives us so much self-confidence, self-worth. Yeah, you can explain that part of it because you're the expert, right?
You bet. So yeah, the clothing that we wear has a huge impact on us, both in what the thoughts we think and the feelings we feel. And that was the big takeaway that I learned actually from my master's research, was how important the psychological side of what we wear is to women. And so today, we're going to dive into that a little bit, about the psychological side, the feeling side of how clothing affects us. And yeah, we can talk a little bit about some of the stuff I learned in the research, and just really bringing awareness to this topic, because when I first talk to people about it, most of the time they kind of give me a blank stare. They're like, what do you mean fashion and psychology? How are those things even related, right? But once I get people's minds aware of this, or bring it into their thought awareness, then they start to be like, oh yeah, okay, I kind of see how that kind of works, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think one of the things that was the most interesting for me when I did my thesis research was asking women to think about a positive or negative, and I did both, experience that they had with their clothes, and what sort of thoughts and feelings those items of clothing brought up for them, or the situation around the whole thing, right? So yeah, that was really fascinating to just dive deeper into just how interconnected all of this is when we pay attention. I guess you could say. So I would love to open the lines if we can do that today with the
Sure. 631-307-4010, 631, everything's open. 307-4010. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to give us a call. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I just, for today, I just really want people to start, or women, well, it affects men too, actually. The more I start doing, or I've been having more men clients in the last few months than I have prior to that. But the self-esteem part and the thought parts are just so connected. So you want to have a conversation with me about this, Jill, since we're on?
Sure, go for it. I'm here. Yes.
Think about when you were, say, under 10, about what item of clothes was really special to you.
See, I look back and I think of like my school pictures, and like I had this white sweater with little like doggies on it, little like it was the cutest little outfit. So I know that one was important, but yeah, I really don't really think back. I look at the school pictures, I guess, because that was my favorite outfit. The little doggy one. Yeah, a little white outfit. Yeah, with little black puppies.
Okay. And if you can remember, what was it that you loved about that outfit?
I like the puppies. Oh my gosh. I made my mom allow me to wear it for pictures. She didn't want me to, I remember, but I said, I love it. I love it. It's so cute. Yeah. I look back at it all the time, and was my favorite outfit, just because I also had like little dogs.
Right? And what did you feel? How did that outfit feel when you put it on, or how did it make you feel when you wore it?
So happy. Still thinking about it now makes me happy. Yes.
Yeah. And it's amazing how all of us have those kinds of memories of something from childhood or even now. Like, think about the same kind of thing now. What is an item of clothing now that you have that you just absolutely feel beautiful in, and it just makes your heart sing, for lack of a better way to put it?
Oh, it would be my mom's sweater. She's passed now, so I have a sweater from her, which I just love because it's hers, right?
Yeah.
So that's sentimental for sure. That's probably my favorite item. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That actually came out in my research as well, is that people use clothing as a way to find comfort when they've loved someone who's died, right? And
yeah,
we'll keep some of the, whatever it is, a sweater or a scarf or who knows, a coat, that our grandmother had or our mother had, or our fathers or brothers or whoever's important. Keeping that clothing is a way for us to connect with them after they've died, right? So I mean, obviously we know that they're gone, but we can still keep those memories alive in our minds and our hearts by the attachment that we have to that item of clothing. And so sorry, I've got a bug in my throat.
that's okay. I have one too. Don't worry.
Oh, excuse me.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So yeah, if anybody wants to call in and tell us about their favorite thing when they were young, or their favorite item of clothing now, I
Yep.
would love to hear from you, but that's all right.
631-307-4010. 631-307-4010.
Um, and for me, I've started, once I kind of really became aware of just how emotionally connected we are to our clothes, I've started building my wardrobe around clothes about how they make me feel, not just how they
Yeah.
make me look, right? So I've got my, I guess I would call them my comfort clothes, if you want to put it that way. They're very comfortable physically, but they're also comfortable emotionally, if that makes sense.
I still wear my maternity pants. I buy new ones now that are the same brand. It's Motherhood Maternity because they roll down on the belly so it's not tight. And I'm not pregnant anymore. I haven't been in years, but I still wear them. I love them.
And that's exactly the point, right? Is that how do we use clothes to support our life and support us positively, emotionally, and physically? And like anybody, I'm not immune to the negative thoughts that come at me sometimes when I look in the mirror. I mean, even though I teach this and even though I'm aware of it, those thoughts still show up from time to time. And especially if I'm already having a sort of a crummy day or whatever, then the self-critic is just like, right? And so I have certain outfits that I know I look very stunning in or very beautiful in, but because my biggest well, I won't say problem area, but the thing I'm most self-conscious about is actually my stomach. After having kids, I gained a little bit of weight,
Yeah.
and when I did my master's degree and sat on my butt for 10 months doing my thesis research, I gained a little bit of weight and I just cannot get
Yeah.
rid of it. It just won't go away. No matter how much I work out, eating clean, all of that, it just isn't going away. So I've had to be like, all right, I have to accept this or I can hate it about myself. And I mean, which one's the healthier one, right? Like, so it's like, all right, I'm healthy, I'm strong, even though I have this belly now that I never used to have when I was younger and thinner. But so on those days when that inner critic is being really nasty to me, I have certain pants or shirts or dresses or whatever it is that camouflage my stomach. So it allows me to tell that voice to take a hike, because I'm like, I know I look amazing in this outfit, so leave me alone. Kind
It's
of thing.
true. It's so true though. But I love feeling comfortable in certain clothes, but some people also may judge us and say, "What are you wearing?" But it makes you feel good, right?
Yeah,
It should be
exactly.
okay.
And I know that, I mean, we live in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, judgmental society almost. We judge people by the way we look. We all do it. And so if anybody says I don't judge people by the way they look, then they're either not aware or they're lying through their teeth, because it's just how we how we are. And it's just kind of human nature, right? We look at somebody, and based on their appearance, we make assumptions about what kind of person they are, whether we like them or not, even before we've even had a chance to talk to them. And that's one of the reasons why clothing is so important, I think, because it's a form of communication as well. It's not just about our own personal comfort, but it's a form of communication, and like visual communication, right? Like, I mean, anybody who's been in marketing or stage design or any of those kinds of things, the set or the billboard or the advertisement, all of that stuff speaks. And clothing is no different. Clothing is like your personal advertisement, so to speak. And you can use it as a form of communication to tell the world, this is who I am, this is how I want to be perceived.
Well, and what made you choose what you wore today?
Well, mostly because I was like, okay, going on the podcast, want to look good. I mean, I do put in the effort to look good most of the time. I mean, just because I feel better when I know I look nice. But today I was like, I want to be perceived as kind of fun and approachable. So I wore polka dots.
Good. I wear this because, well, I wear stuff that's baggy on my stomach. I just had a hernia surgery, so I need something that's loose fitting. So it's like tight up here and then it's loose. So I need something comfortable but stylish. So the stomach area is not too tight. I like that.
Right?
Yep.
I know all about that. Trust me, because like I said, my tummy is my biggest area of where I'm self-conscious. So
Yeah, that's why I wear a lot of black though too on my stomach. I like that. We talked about the psychology of black.
yeah, and you know what? I meant to say last week, there's nothing wrong with wearing black. Just be aware of why you're doing it, right? Like if you love black because of whatever, I was just talking about the general messages of the colors kind of thing. But yeah. So
Yeah.
today I just wanted to be fun and I wanted to be comfortable. This shirt is so soft. So it's about finding the comfort.
Is it silk or what is it?
It's some kind of a cotton blend, actually. I don't even know. I have to find the tag, which is probably on the back of the neck. Oh wait, here it is. It's on the side. What is this? Oh, actually, it's polyester, but it feels like cotton. It's amazing the fabrics that they come up with these days.
And is this like sharp over here on the neck? Is it like a little
Oh, it's stitching. It's like a mock neck, they call this. So it's not quite a turtleneck where
cute?
they fold up and fold down, right? Like this is just a neck that,
But it's not itchy there. It looks itchy.
no, doesn't bother me at all because it's loose, right? It's very stretchy.
Cool. Oh, I see the elastic now on the inside. It looked like it was like a harder material. Okay.
No, it's very stretchy. So I feel it on my neck, but it's not bothersome. And I mean, that's another part when you're looking for clothes is it's like, all right, what are my personal things? Like if I personally cannot wear wool. It drives me nuts. Any kind of wool, even the like soft merino wools, I just find them scratchy and itchy, and it's a texture thing for me. I cannot wear them. So even if something is the right color and the right cut, but the fabric is wrong, it's a bad plan to spend money on it if you know you're not going to wear it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been like, oh, it's so cute and it fits me so well, but I put it on and I'm like, ew, but it itches so bad. So I don't buy those things, right? Or I return them if I did buy them because I'm like, this is not.
In my older age, I go for comfort over fashion. I do.
Yeah.
I think that
there's nothing wrong with that. I think, but when we've been on calls, I've noticed that you have both. You look great and you're also comfortable. So it's so much about that. It's about finding outfits that do it all for you, right? Because I mean, we're older now. We don't have our feet like we did when we were 15. We can't wear those 5-inch heels. Without, maybe you can. I don't know. I can't wear those 5-inch heels anymore. My feet just ache, and so I'm just like, forget that nonsense.
Yeah. No, it's stupid shoes. I used to wear heels and I'm over high heels. I just don't like them anymore. Are they even normal to wear? Isn't it bad for your feet?
Yep. My chiropractor recommended that you only wear 2.5 inches tops He said anything over 2.5 inches is bad for your posture, bad for your feet. And he's like, you may not notice it when you're in your 30s and 40s, but you'll feel it in your 70s. So I'm kind of listening to those sorts of things now when the doctors say this or that. I mean, when we're 20, we're like, who cares? It's pretty, right? But I'm part of my whole goal is to help women understand that we don't have to sacrifice our bodies for the sake of fashion, right? And I know it's hard to find sometimes, especially in shoes. It's hard to find pretty shoes that look nice. Or comfortable shoes, rather. Comfortable shoes that look nice. That's a challenge for sure, but they're out there. You just got to dig a little harder.
It's true, right? It
Yeah.
really is. Okay, hold on. There is a chat happening. How does personal style affect self-style, confidence, and self-image? Who is this from? I don't know who it's from. Doesn't matter, but I guess someone's listening and writing in. How does personal style affect self-confidence and self-image? Good
Okay.
question.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm all about, right? So personal style affects our self-image a lot, because when we wear clothing that makes us feel comfortable both psychologically and physically, we feel more at home in who we are. And clothing can also help you to expand your comfort zone, I guess, and try new things and help you kind of discover who you are or who you want to become. And what was the other part? Self-image and sorry, can you just read the question again?
Sure. Hold on, I gotta pull it back up again. He's here. Dun, dun, dun. I lost it. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. There's a few. Okay. Oh, how does personal style affect self-confidence and self-image? I gotta move this.
Okay, so self-confidence, when you take the time to know what works for you and what looks good on you, it helps you feel better. I'm sure that most of us have experienced when we've gone into the change room and we found something that just worked in every way. And we just know that that thing makes you look like a rock star. And so when we put that piece of clothing on, your confidence gets boosted. And we've had the opposite, I think, most of us, when we put some piece of clothing on that just looks awful on us, because we've all had that happen in the change room. And you just like, ugh, that's not for me. But the trick is learning which clothing is for you and which clothing isn't for you, and not taking it or not beating yourself up when you don't look good in a certain piece of clothes, because that's another situation that happens a lot for women, is because most of the clothes that are on the market these days are made for tall, slim, and young. And when we don't fit into that category that is defined as beautiful, it can be really hard not to beat yourself up for just the way that nature made you, right? We can't change, well, you can, but it's very expensive, and I don't know that changing the outside doesn't necessarily fix the inside if you haven't dealt with the inner feelings, right? So personal style, oh, excuse me, that frog's showing up again. Can't talk today. Personal style helps us to be more confident when we know what works for us, and that's what I do, as I help women to learn all of the inside and the outside game.
And isn't there psychological benefits from dressing up or dressing how you feel good about yourself? Doesn't that in turn make us better, happier, more productive, more successful, right? So it works both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can, when you know, or when you build your wardrobe around who you are and who you want to present yourself to the world, then you go into the closet and you have clothes that affirm who you are, clothes that help you feel confident and help you be more even assertive of what you want in life, right? And so the closet then becomes a place of fun and joy, and it's not this dredge or thing that you just that's not the word I'm looking for, but when you open the closet and you just feel, ugh, I have nothing to wear and nothing fits. And I think most of us who haven't yet had the opportunity or taken the time to build our wardrobe like that, we've experienced those moments when you walk in and you just feel depressed looking at all the clothes that are there that don't fit you or don't suit your personality or whatever. So yeah.
Interesting. And then also, another question came in about, can personal style be used as a form of self-expression and creativity?
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Personal
I
style. And that's at the, so there's kind of like a scale, if you will, of how we use clothes. At the very bottom of the scale is the basic needs that we just can't be naked, right? We don't live in a nudist colony, so we have to wear something. And if you do, then don't listen to this, but it goes, and then we use clothing for like psychological comfort, belonging, fitting in. And then when you get to the higher end of that scale, it's where you start being like, okay, you can use style for what the person who wrote in said, creativity and self-expression,
Yep.
and learning how to do that within the constraints of jobs and stuff. Like sometimes if you have different work uniforms that are required, so to speak, depending on what industries you work in, and learning how to find expression in the industry that you're in. Or when you're done work and you want to go out, then learning how to use clothes to say what you want to say, and to express who you are. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, we still got 4 minutes left in the show, Fiona. Let me just ask, are there any ways to maybe use personal style to kind of boost our overall well-being? If we're having a bad day, if we're depressed, if we're, would you say that could lift us up in a sense?
Absolutely. That was one of the things that really showed up in my research when I did my master's thesis, was that when I can't quite remember offhand the question that I asked that brought that up, but I basically asked something along those lines of how women use clothing to help them feel better, right? And so yeah, if you're having, well, it's like I said earlier, like when I'm having a bad day and I'm not feeling great about my tummy, I'll wear a dress that camouflages it, and I know highlights everything else really nicely, right? Or if you're, even color can come into that matter. Like if
Yeah.
you're having a down day, you can use color to help you feel brighter and better, and to just lift your mood.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And if we want to reach out to you for personal consultation, how does it work?
Just give me a call at 403-966-5896, or you can email me at Fiona, Fiona, at stylebyfiona.com.
And what is your earliest memory of style? Since it's in your blood, do you have an outfit too from when you were little as well?
I sure do. I had this shirt when I was in kindergarten, so I would have been, what, 4 or 5, something like that, that had these little boats on it. And I don't even know exactly what it was about that shirt, but it just made me feel so happy. So yeah, I've certainly that, yeah, it's actually the one that I wore to picture day in my kindergarten year.
That is so funny. That's my poodle dress. I'm telling you the same thing. That's amazing at that age, right? We have such an impact and a memory from that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you again for being here one more time. Stylebyfiona.com.
Yeah. And you can find me on social media, at YouTube/stylebyfiona, and same thing, Instagram /stylebyfiona. And I do services both in person and online. So please reach out if you would like to learn more about what colors or what shapes and styles and all those sorts of things work for you, and how you can use style to help your self-esteem. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, and I'm glad we got to Zoom. Thank you again for being here, and to all of our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. More of the show's on the way.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.